Welcome back to the Sim Racing Show, everyone, your one-stop shop for all of the news in sim racing. And there's lots of really exciting news at the moment. It's a really exciting week for sim racing, a really exciting time for sim racing generally. We're going to cover all of the news. I want to start with something a little bit left field, which is the PSVR 2 adapter has been announced by Sony. So important things for you to know. It's coming out on the 7th of August. It's going to cost €60, $60 and £50. Why is it in the Sim Racing Show? I think it potentially opens up a lot of sim racing opportunities. For anyone who has a PSVR 2 headset, like myself, you'll be able to connect it to your gaming PC. So I've got a 49 RTX gaming PC here and play all of the Steam VR sim racing games. Stuff like iRacing, ACC, Automobilista 2, I guess Le Mans Ultimate when that's officially supported. So if you've got a PSVR 2 and you've been limited to GT7, you've been frustrated that Gran Turismo have not added any single features to Gran Turismo 7 VR, I think unacceptably, you can now take that headset with a connector and play it on PC. It's not going to be all of the same features though. I'll have a video coming on that, so don't worry about that. I'll cover it in detail. I've also got a Pimax Crystal Light coming in as well for review, so I'll be reviewing that. But I just saw, we're going to come on to Forza later and some of the more Syncade stuff. They've made a big change where they listen to stuff I said specifically, and I'll keep knocking on the door for Sony to update GT7 in VR. Another slightly left field thing is Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown. Not really a sim racing game, or so I thought until I downloaded the demo that completely launched to no announcement as far as I could tell, and started playing it on my Thrustmaster T818 direct drive that I'm reviewing at the moment. It was a really good experience, and I feel like Test Drive Unlimited may actually simulate in a way the thought process and the emotions of test driving cars, choosing cars, buying cars, upgrading cars. So just an interesting one. And if you're curious, I recommend you go on Steam and download the demo for completely free and let me know what you think. It's an interesting game in the community, one that I think has been a interesting demo as well. Didn't work on my Moser equipment. Now I've got it working. I'm looking forward to that game. F124. Where do we start? Goodness me, this was a game that before launch, the content creators, so they're all sponsored by EA, by the way, like the EA content creators, like the game's going to be great. Then footage came out and the EA content creators like the game's not so great as we said. Then there was going to be a patch and they're like the game's going to be saved, please buy it using my link. And then the game was patched and the handling went back, and like, who do you believe? Do you believe the content creators? Do you believe the esports drivers? Or do you believe just sort of like normal people like you and me who are just playing the game, like we're buying it and we just want to have a fun time? I've been playing the game, don't like it in VR, but in 2D actually had a really fun time. So there's been lots of patches coming basically. As I record this now, the 1.4 patch has just dropped and the handling has been tweaked. EA like to do this. They do it with FIFA every year in football, or EA FC, where they'll completely change like how the game plays like the first patch. So EA F124, lots of negative reception. I actually think it plays quite well from a casual perspective, but very interested to know your thoughts in the comments. Moser R3 wheelbase drops for Xbox consoles. Wow, wow, wow. I have reviewed this unit right here. What a fun package of joy that is. It is probably too expensive. It's not entry level. It's not going to compete against Logitech G923. But it is Moser's first foray into console compatibility. And if they can do something like that that's PlayStation compatible, well, that's going to be very interesting. The R3 bundle comes with the R3 direct drive wheelbase, the sort of basic entry-level rim, and the SRP Lite basic pedals for $399, £399 and €439. Interesting proposition. Do go check out my review video if you're curious. It's quite a thorough review video where we did actually put it side by side, I believe, with a Logitech G923. So interesting proposition, direct drive coming more and more and more accessible, which I think is great news to sim racing. I think it'll make a great gift, by the way, that particular product. Now, if you remember this article when we first reported it in a sim racing show, I want you to put a light bulb emoji in the comments, because you remember V-Rider SBK? This is that Superbike VR game that I was like, is it going to make you sick? How are you going to control it? Well, it's already officially released. So, goodness me, it makes you feel old, but that's how we do on the news. We reported the announcement, now it's released. and it's on MetaQuest 2, MetaQuest 3 and Quest Pro. It's been in early access. It simulates the 2023 Superbike World Championship featuring 6-time champion Jonathan Rea and his Kawasaki Ninja on 12 licensed circuits, priced at $18.99 to start with, but then it's going to go to $22.99. Interesting game. I don't have a Quest. I may genuinely try and pick one up to review this game. Motorbikes in VR is either going to make me sick or I'm going to love it, but that game's come out. Interesting one. EA Sports WRC. Oh, another EA. What are you doing in sim racing? Just ruining everything. Please stop it. Stop that at once. So this is the 5th Rally Pass update. There was basically no major content in it. So the monetization well is running dry at EA, which is not a good thing. And new moments are going to be made available, including some based on the events from this year. But EA Sports WRC, you know, I just feel sad about it. We had great Dirt Rally games, Dirt Rally 1, Dirt Rally 2, a Dirt Rally 3, you know, feels like it should just been a continuation of a great series. Instead, we go to EA Sports WRC and with the license, and it's just pants. So, you know, by all accounts, with people I speak to, hopefully they can turn that around in the next iteration. If there's going to be a next iteration, that's my worry, is that when Milestone had the WRC license, we had WRC games all the time coming out. I was playing WRC 7 the other day, and I just wonder now if like actually the license is not going to be that valuable and EA are going to sit in it or something, similar to the Motorsport Games shenanigan that I was reporting on years ago, where they were sitting on licenses. I don't know. We'll find out. iRacing now, proper sim racing, season 3 is here, and it's brought those big American cars, the Ford Mustang GT3, the Corvette Z06 GT3R. Good luck to those at Le Mans this weekend. 2 new street stock cars and 3 new circuits: Oswego Speedway, Sachsenring, and Circuito de Navarra. That, by all accounts, looks absolutely great. A really great circuit, that one, potentially. So awesome to hear about that. Now, the content is going to cost a lot because each bit is individual in iRacing. It's not like you buy a season pass and you get everything included in it. Each bit you have to buy. I am going to be buying both those cars and all the tracks and doing review videos on them, so please let me know in the comments if you want to see that. I want to do more iRacing. I'm very lucky because I have iRacing credit from people that watch my beginner guides and sign up, so I do want to be buying this content and letting you know what it's like. By all accounts, the American GT3 cars are actually quite fun to drive. A couple of things now. More cars compatible with Tempest weather, which is really good. Had a really good race in VR at Imola in Tempest, and I loved it. And the new damage model now applies to every car in game. So congratulations to the iRacing team on sort of continuing that pathway. Yes, it's an expensive game, but they're adding new cool features, and the game seems to be being received very well. I've got a lot of videos on whether iRacing is worth it, and as I said, beginner guides and stuff like that as well. Some other things, Le Mans Ultimate. So Le Mans Ultimate had a big update in June. The BMW hypercar has come, radar has come. There's been physics updates on basically everything, and I have a video coming on that on the channel probably tomorrow, so keep an eye out for that. Make sure you're subscribed. I do a race in it and I let you know about all the features, what works, what doesn't. Is the game more stable? Remember last time it kept crashing. You're going to find out what the story is with Le Mans Ultimate. The more controversial part of that is that they are making the game pay to play essentially in the future, because if you want the 2024 content that's coming in, you're going to need to pay for it. You'll get some content for free, like 2 GT3 cars, but you need to pay. Another interesting thing about pay to play is Forza Motorsport. I made a video on this yesterday. The new Porsche 963 came in Forza. Great to see hypercars, by the way, being really renowned and coming into these games. I think it's going to be great for sports car racing, that people are going to be playing these games and getting familiar with hypercars and then wanting to watch WEC, etc. But something I really didn't like was that they have done this sort of time limited thing where if you download it in the first 10 days, so go watch my video and see if you want to download it, by the way, you get it for free. But if you miss those 10 days, you have to pay for it. I think it's $3.99 for the car, or $4.99 even for the car. I don't think that's going to fly. Like, especially as they've been bundling so many cars in with the car pass, the VIP thing, to now be charging £4 or £5 for a car, I think isn't going to work with Forza as it is right now. That must have been part of their roadmap, I imagine, but I think what they need to do is get people into the game, enjoying the game. There were some graphical improvements in Forza, and remember I said at the beginning of this video that they have changed something. They've listened to me. Well, remember I did that very deep analysis of Forza versus Gran Turismo at the Nordschleife, and my comments were the curbs in Forza are not accurate to real life. The speaker poles are not there, and they're very important brake markers and turning markers. And also there's way too many flags. They've addressed all 3 of those points in the new patch. So I have a new video coming, seeing whether the Nürburgring is actually more accurate in Forza now, what they've said. But they do watch these videos. So, and when I speak to people in the industry, this sim racing show is something that is actually quite valued, which is really cool. So thank you all for watching. Thank you anyone who's developing sim racing games. And yeah, that's Sim Racing Show for this week. Make sure you subscribed, and I'll see you next time.